Now, if you look at the media everywhere, so we have sensation news catching up with a lot of youngsters, with a lot of the entire population. And there's so much of boom in the social media, and the growth has been tremendous over the last decade. So, how should the youngsters balance this out?
The ones who are creating it and posting it, releasing it on all platforms. So they are the creator. So first is the creator needs to take responsibility. But then more than the creator, because the creator is not in my control, it is I, the consumer, who has to take the responsibility of what I'm consuming. Because what I'm consuming and then what I'm sharing with everybody else is what a lot of people will start consuming. And so very soon that will be called as normal, that this is what the world wants. And so when more of that starts getting consumed, then the creator will create even more of that kind of content. So that's simple logic. So creator is responsible of the content, but consumer is even more responsible of the content. So let's say somebody cooks a meal in which there are three items which are very healthy and two are junk food. Okay. And then there are 50 people who come for that event. And if 45 out of 50 people have the junk food and they do not use the healthy food that much, then the next time the person who's organizing the event is going to make four junk food items and one healthy food for those five who consumed it last time. It's very normal for that to happen. But then whose responsibility was it? More the responsibility of the consumer. So now the consumer will need to understand, why should I consume healthy content? Because tasty content, junk content seems to be more interesting, seems to be more circulating. It's natural. Junk food is always more interesting than a plate of sprouts or salads or fruits or anything that's healthy. It's tasty, it's addictive, it's stimulating, but it's not healthy. So similarly, content is of a lot of variety. Social media and all other platforms have given us a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of learning. They've made life very simple and they've also made life more purposeful, because there is so much I wouldn't have known had it not been on this platform. It would take many lives to learn what we can learn today on just a click. So it was not possible for an individual to learn so much in their lifetime, to be able to connect to so many people, to learn different belief systems, it would have been impossible for an individual to learn it. So that is thanks to the online system and to the internet and to the social media platform. But I, as a consumer, it's my responsibility to see that I'm consuming the right information. I'm consuming the right knowledge. So for that, I just need to remember that content is my emotional diet, because what I watch, what I read, what I listen is who I become. So if I'm going to consume content which is like lust, ego, greed, criticism, aggression, violence, creating fear, nowadays creating a lot of religious intolerance, creating disharmony. And if I consume that kind of content so much, then that is what becomes my sanskar, my thought process, my belief system. And it will come into my action very soon. If I consume serials in which people are always in conflict with each other, doubting each other, breaking relationships, breaking homes, and all the rest that happens. So if I consume that on a daily basis, then very soon I will start seeing traces of it in my own life. And for all to know that whether this is the truth, all that we need to do is go 25 years back or 30 years back, and then just draw a graph of content versus state of society in terms of emotional health, mental health, physical health, and social health, that is relationships. So just draw a graph of that. And 30 years back, we didn't even know the word stress, it was just in physics. Depression was like some word we would hear somewhere, some elderly had it. Cancer was rare. all these illnesses that we're talking about were rare and more in the elderly. Divorce was very, very rare. And if it happened, people would like keep it under wraps and because it was a stigma. And cut to today, 2023, even stress is becoming an old-fashioned word. Children today are saying, I'm depressed, I'm anxious. In student life, in a life which was supposed to be the best life, the carefree life where you have no responsibilities. They're saying, I'm stressed, I'm anxious. Post COVID, the figure has gone much higher. You meet little children and they say, मुझे यहाँ कुछ हो रहा है, मुझे anxiety हो रही है. So anxiety and depressed has become like a very normal word now. Of course, we've seen what's happened with physical health issues. You know best how high the numbers of cancers have gone in the last few years. Last 2 years, we've seen sudden cardiac issues. So all this is such a big shift. And divorce is common and it is called normal. And it is like, okay, if I'm not getting anything in this relationship, I don't need to adjust. We can move on our own way. And the result of that is also in the environment because the more I create toxic emotions, the more I radiate that onto the planet, and the more the vibrations of the water, the air, the plants, the vegetables, everything starts getting influenced. And the more I'm emotionally depleted, the lesser happier I am. And so more I keep consuming from the world to be happy. So my power to buy and consume, I just need to constantly buy something to feel good. So again, I'm abusing the planet. So all our healths, mental, emotional, physical, social, environmental, everything is affected. And it's because of who I am. And who I am is a lot to do because of what I consume. So when I understand that as my moral responsibility, I don't need anyone else to tell me what I should consume, what I should not consume. Today, we are a generation who's taking a lot of care of our physical diet, so we are very aware, ye khana hai, ye nahi khana hai, which is very good. But in spite of that, health is not getting better in
Right.
spite of being so aware of our diet and exercise. And last couple of years, we saw young deaths. We saw doctors coming on panel discussions in news channels, and the audience says, but so and so was a vegetarian, was a teetotaler, was exercising. What else? So then the doctor would say the last word as stress and lifestyle. So if that stress can create an illness and death, it should not be called normal. So the sooner we stop calling it normal, the sooner we will shift to a happier world. But content restriction will be the first step which is required in that. Even for you as a doctor, I'm sure you know the problem which comes when every patient first serves everything and then comes to you. So they've already studied all the possible illnesses which could have happened because of that one symptom that they're experiencing. Then they will study your treatment. Then they will study the side effect of every medicine. So information plays a very, very powerful role, not just on the mind, but also on the body.
Beautiful.